Alan. This is Adam Johns from The Athletic. Welcome to Chicago.
Thanks, Adam. How are you?
Very good, very good. Thanks for doing this. We heard a lot from Matt Eberflus about his hits philosophy and the loaf grading system. You go all the way back to Tampa Bay where they had it. I'm curious for your thoughts on it and what you like about that type of grading and what it does for accountability.
Yeah. Well, first I'd say Matt was the first person that kind of put it into an acronym for guys to easy way to remember, but also he's developed a good way to measure it. So when you talk about a standard and meeting that standard and then being able to look at the film and grade that standard and holding guys to the standard, the hits philosophy is a great way of being able to measure it. So with the hustle, the intensity, the takeaways, and playing smart, we have a way of being able to gauge ourselves from one game to another or one season to another in terms of, are we improving or are we, falling short? So great way of doing that. I love the way the guys, they'll be, when you talk to our guys over the course of the year, they will be able to say, recite it, say it. And then the biggest thing is that it shows up on tape. And when it shows up on tape and it looks the right way, you'll see wins. You'll like the product that's out on the football field.
Thank you.
Next question, Sean Hammond.
Hey, Alan, Sean Hammond from Shaw Media. Just curious, in your experience with Matt over the last few years, what do you think? Why do you think players bought in to his style and what he was teaching, and what enabled them to just follow him and do follow his leadership, I guess?
Yeah, Sean, great question. They didn't buy in at first. What we're going to ask them to do is going to be, Sean, it's not difficult, but it's extremely hard. We're going to ask guys to give us 100% when they get on the field, 100% hustle. We're going to ask guys to be intense. We're going to ask them to do some things that they may not be used to doing. And so you ask, what was the buy-in? At first, there wasn't a buy-in because it was difficult. But they, little by little, they saw how the hits philosophy translated into us playing well. They saw, based on us being able to measure those things, they saw how we were improving, not in big leaps, but our thing was at 1%, 1% better, 1% better, and then ultimately those things turned into wins. And as we all know, this is this league is measured in your wins and losses. So that hits principle turned into turnovers. The turnovers turned into us winning football games. So that was the buy-in when they saw the results of all that hard work, all the running to the ball, and not just in games, but every day in practice. The attention to detail in the walkthroughs. So those were all things that helped with the buy-in.
Thank you.
Next question, Dion Miller.
Hi, Coach. Dion Miller from ABC7 here in Chicago. I'm curious your thoughts on the roster, the defensive roster that you're inheriting, and what you already see that's here in place to kind of build from.
Yeah, Dion. Right now, what we've done, we've just looked at the ball games in the totality. We haven't looked at it right now in terms of each individual guy. So I'm going to have to right now defer until later on that question until we look at it, so that I can give you a better answer and say, hey, this guy is this. We think this guy is that. It would be unfair to you and the players, because it was a little bit different than what we're asking them to do scheme-wise, assignment-wise, hustle-wise, which would be a big deal. So I can say this, that the Bears have been a good defense for years in terms of what the fans expect from our guys. I don't think they'll be disappointed at the product that we'll we'll put out on the field. I think it'll be a good product, and I think it'll be an entertaining product. So we'll wait to see on the answer in a few more, let's say another month or two.
Thanks.
Next question, Dan Wiederer.
Alan, Dan Wiederer from the Chicago Tribune. Good to see you again.
Dan, very good to see you again.
The different version of kind of what Dion asked, but with Roquan Smith and knowing how you guys like to play your linebackers, do you see any parallels between him and Darius? Are there any things initially that you're eager to tap into with Roquan? Yeah,
production. Both guys are extremely productive. Both guys are athletic. Both guys, you can tell they like football by the way they play. When you look at the tape, you don't have to be a football aficionado to go, you know what? The way that dude plays, he likes ball. Roquan likes ball. Roquan loves ball. And when you have a guy that loves ball and you're as smart as he is, and I remember him coming out of the combine, even as a defensive backs coach, his reputation preceded him. So he was a guy that said, hey, he's quick twitch, he's fast, he's instinctive, he's a leader. So when you have a guy like that, that's a guy that you want in the middle of the field, and that's a guy that that you're looking forward to getting to know, that you're looking forward to coaching.
And then also on a side note, your previous experience coordinating is a long way back now, but is there anything from those 2 years in the coordinator role in Minnesota that you can apply now, even though there's so much gap between the two stints?
Yeah. You know what, if I were to say no to that question, that'd be a shame on me. And there are some things that, one is just the experience of doing your job over and over and over again, and then knowing different things. So I've had the chance to be in a few different systems. So now you're bringing to the experience that I had in that other team, and now you have the experience of different coverages, the experience of different fronts, the experience of different techniques, and then just the do-over. And I won't say exactly what I'd like to do over, but you learn from your mistakes. You learn the things that you did well, and you take those things and you put that in a bucket and you say, take these things forward. And then ultimately you try not to dwell on the past, and you move forward, and you try to be self-aware and evaluate yourself in a very in a systematic way without being too hard or too lenient. And you take those experiences and you try to improve.
Thanks.
Next question, Alex Shapiro.
Hey, Alan, Alex Shapiro, NBC Sports Chicago. Pleasure to meet you.
Good to meet you.
We hear a lot about accountability, and I'm wondering practically, what does that look like with your defense? How are you carrying out accountability with your team?
Well, and without beating a dead horse, but when Alex, when each week, when I'm able to talk with you, you're gonna keep hearing about the HITS principles in different ways. I know you're gonna say, hey, give me something different. But you know what? When you have an identity, and that identity is a good identity, you just keep finding different ways of getting that across. So in terms of accountability, we go back to the HITS principle, and you go, here are the standards of that principle, and you go, hey, we have that ceiling, we have that area of which we want to get to, and we go, yes, you met the standard, or no, you didn't meet the standard. And if you didn't meet the standard, all good coaches are all good, I would rather use the word teachers, help the guys to get to that standard. And they go, hey, these are the things that you need to do to reach that standard. And again, it's not just arbitrary thing that we throw out there. There are ways of measuring, hey, how you hustle, and if you met the standard, the intensity. So we really measure those things. And then if they don't reach the standard, we find creative ways to help guys. And again, the neat thing, or the good thing about the staff that we're trying to assemble is guys that are phenomenal teachers, phenomenal communicators, and guys that have different ways of getting across to their players to get done what we need to get done.
Next question, Hub Arkush.
Hi, Alan. Hub Arkush from Pro Football Weekly and Shaw Media. Welcome to Chicago. Great to have you.
Thank you.
I would think it's got to be exciting coming in here knowing you're switching to a 4-3 and you're inheriting a couple guys in Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn who've played in base 4-3 packages before, but they're also middle-aged. And I wonder how difficult is it and how long does it take to evaluate where they're at in your careers to decide whether you're going to build this defense around them or whether you have to prepare to move on?
Yeah. Well, first I'd say you have no idea how exciting it is to be here and having those guys. Second, I would say shame on you to say middle-aged when we're in the age of our athletes taking care of their bodies, eating better, playing longer. You're a sports guy. I know we're on defense, but Tom Brady just retired. So when you go middle-aged, I think we need to broaden that term. I'm not sure what middle-aged is. I keep looking at myself and I'm 50 something and I keep thinking, you know what? I'm a young man. I'm not at the end. So I would say to that, I'm gonna open up my scope. I'm gonna think outside the box, and then I'll wait for those guys to show me what they have. As far as I know, and I haven't looked at it in detail, but as far as I know, those guys are still productive. So I would say if you go middle-aged and you're telling me, hey, this is the middle, and we're looking at it like this, I'm good to go. So that means they have a lot of years left and a lot of tread on the tires. So with that in mind, I'm excited.
Thanks, Alan.
Next question, Pat Finley.
Hi, I'm Patrick Finley from the Chicago Sun-Times. Not to bring up a bad memory, but can you tell me what you remembered about Devin Hester's kick return in the Super Bowl? He's up for the Hall of Fame today.
Oh boy. So, and I hate this term when you go, you want the truth? No, I want a guy to lie to me. I was never in a panic. When you have guys that are as fast as we were then, and will be like that, when you have guys that play the type of defense and turn the football over, which we'll have guys like that, and you have a team that's resilient when something goes bad, and that was a bad thing, the first touchdown in history, the first play of the game, when you have guys that are resilient, and we'll be like that, that doesn't worry you one bit. We just knew the ball game wasn't going to be 0 to whatever. That wasn't a big deal. We were resilient on offense. We knew our guys were going to score, and we knew on defense that we were going to take the ball away, which we did. And you knew we were going to score on defense, which we did. So that wasn't a big deal whatsoever.
Next question, Brad Biggs.
Hey, Coach, Brad Biggs with the Chicago Tribune. I'm curious, how long, in your opinion, will it take to convert to the scheme and get it working at a high level? And then I was also wondering if you could talk about the significance of the 3 technique position for what you guys are going to require.
You know what? I can't answer how long it will take. I do know this, that some people say, well, 4-3, 3-4. When you have good players are good players no matter what scheme they're in. And we have good players. And how long does it take for them to, you said, I think, be a good defense, and a good defense that you can recognize the things that we talk about? I'm not sure about that. I'm not going to put a timetable on that, or a stopwatch on that, or a calendar on that. That's going to happen when it happens. It's going to be, the buy-in that we talked about. It's going to be the players that we acquire. There's some factors in there that I'm not sure how long it will take. If you're talking about our three technique, you know, we want that guy to be athletic. We want that guy to be instinctive. We want that guy to be able to stay on his feet. When he gets a one-on-one, we want that guy to be able to beat his one-on-ones. And really the things that I'm talking about, you can probably say that about, you know, everybody on our defense about those things. We want that guy to play with relentless effort. We want that guy to be smart. So that guy is one of the staples of the defense, because one of the things I do believe is that good defense is built through the middle. And so that's the middle part of our defense. So that guy's going to be a tremendous part of the success of Chicago Bears football, and specifically Chicago Bears defensive football.
Two more. Next question, Chris Emma.
Alan, in Indianapolis, you were able to identify talents and guys who may have been overlooked, like a Darius Leonard who fell to the second round, or Kenny Moore who was let go by the Patriots. What allowed you to identify fits within your scheme and mesh that with the talent that would obviously emerge to a top defense?
Yeah, I don't know if Darius Leonard's second round would be overlooked. I don't know that, but Kenny Moore, yeah, those guys love football. And again, you can tell, not just there's a difference between liking and loving it. When you like football, you have a chance to be a good pro. When you love football, you're going to have a good career. And so those guys love football, and you know that's why you see the success that they have. You know, what some of the people they may not know. I'm not going to say don't know. They may not know is that the physical traits that some of those guys have. Darius and Kenny, they have super long arms. So they're guys that, you know, with Kenny, you may say, well, not really tall in stature, but Kenny has the arms of a guy that's 6 foot, the instincts of a linebacker, the coverage ability of a corner, the safety, the fits of a safety. So they have some intangibles that, you know, you may look at them and go, okay, this guy looks like this player, but they have some other intangibles that you can't necessarily measure, that fit along with our hits principle. They really enjoy playing football. They love being in the building. They come early, they stay late, they take care of their bodies. So those are all things that contribute to being a good football player.
Last question, Herb Howard.
Coach Herb Howard, the Bigs Media. It's great to see you here. We've obviously had an opportunity to study what you guys did in Indy, and I know you're going to implement your system, but no two coaches are exactly alike. What would you say we can expect in terms from you putting your specific stamp on this defense as a play caller?
Yeah, I was asked that question earlier, and excuse me?
I just said, pardon me for missing that question earlier.
No, not with you. I apologize. I just earlier today. I'm sorry, Herb.
Okay.
And I said, you know what, my stamp is going to be the way we run to the ball and the way we hustle. You know, there it comes up again. That's going to be my stamp. But the true stamp is going to be to allow the players do what they do well. So, you know, I may come in here and say, hey, I love zone coverage, and our guys may be phenomenal man coverage players. So you know what, we're going to play man. And if I come in and I go, hey, we're going to be a 4 down, and I go, hey, an odd front is what we do best, or this guy two gaps the best, we're going to 2 gap. And so when ultimately we're going to play with, you know, again, we're going to play hard, we're going to play smart, we're going to take the ball away, but there are many different ways of doing that. So what you'll see is the team that wins the Super Bowl, it has some different characteristics every year on offense and defense. There's no real one way to skin a cat. So it would be remiss if I just said, you know what, I'm bringing in my system and it's going to be my stamp and it's going to be my. Nope. That's not a good thing. It's going to be it's going to be our defense. It's going to be our decisions. It's going to be our guys. It's going to be a collaborative effort. And, you know, I have to make a decision because I'm the defensive coordinator, but I'm making that decision based on what our guys do best. And so if you take the attributes of what your guys do best and you accentuate those qualities, you allow guys to do what they do best, the product is much better than sticking a round peg in a square hole, so to speak. So if that answers your question.
Absolutely. Thank you.